Greetings folks, Pastas here with a long requested update for my sword and board build. But before we begin, please repeat after me. I will not blame Pasta for missing every single parry in that boss fight. I will not blame the build for the fact that any other melee build is much easier to play. And sometimes you'll wonder, maybe you should have listened to your mother and be an archer instead. If you want something that requires reflexes, thinking, and is challenging, this is the build. Okay, Pasta, whatever. Now that you knight blocked me, why should I play this? The main advantage is that archer and mages are virtually not a threat to you. Block is a very solid mechanics with enough investment. You are as tanky as your shield is, and I blasted through everything in veteran with no upgrades. No, actually that's a lie. I died a lot and ended up switching setup 4 times while I was trying stuff out. In this video I will go through all the gear location, alternative options, skill tree and attributes, and a leveling section which is gonna be spoiler free this time. Let's begin. First of all, this build can be played hybrid or pure physical. If you don't know what hybrid is, hybrid means that you are gonna be spell powered based, kinda like a spirituality warrior. In my humble opinion, pure physical is weaker. I know because I couldn't kill the Stalker at level 43 in Act 3. The hybrid, however, did it at the same level quite easily. Okay, let's start with our shield. The main shield that I used were actually 2. The first one is Bramble, which will retaliate based on your overall armor. This does in fact reward builds that invest more gold, and unfortunately make this shield less effective when you are like the low armor. It's from Act 2 and it's very easy to get. The second one that I used mostly in Act 1 was the Blood Shield, which is a bleed based shield, which will make sure that everything that touches you while blocking will ramp up bleed stacks a lot. It's an early Act 1 item. You will see the proper location in the leveling section. It can be used naturally later if you want to stack a lot of bleed. However, some enemies and some parts of the game, like the tool house, where enemies are immune to bleed, will make you feel really bad about using this shield 100% of the time. Naturally, any shield can be used. The only shields that I actually do not advise are the one based on burning, because burning is super easy to achieve. Even like in Act 1, you can slap in the flaming cloak, throw some upgrades, and then you'll become a walking microwave. So the choice is up to you. For weapons, my main favorite weapon is still the same one as my old build, the Shadowfang River. There is a but in there, however. If your critical chance sucks, which will suck before you get in Act 3, this weapon will suck. It's from Act 2 and you can get this one for free if you want to farm the tool house at night and then you gamble exquisite items to see if you can get it. Or you can just buy it from the merchant, whatever you want. Of course, you don't have to use this weapon if you don't want to buy it or farm it. There is a much cheaper alternative which is also good, which is the Duelist Blade, which will also give you a little bit of crit, but it has a high dexterity requirement, so if you're going hybrid, this is a no-no. Ravencrest Executioner from Act 1 is also good, can be used for most of Act 2 and even Act 3 if you want. It's a good weapon overall, good base damage. The requirements are compatible both for physical and hybrid if you want. There are other weapons and swords based on missing stamina or taking out stamina. However, due to the fact that a lot of enemies don't have stamina bars, I build stagger through perks rather than items. But if you want to use those, that is mainly up to you. For our helm, for hybrid, the best helm absolutely is Queen Protected Crown. It's an Act 1 item when you side with the Queen Bee after you talk to Brock and kill a couple of wasps. However, the downside is really not the stats, it's the fact that you need 1800 Eternal Cobwebs to finish the entire quest line here, which is frankly a lot, so a lot of people don't want to do this, and it's understandable. So, any other helmet that I'm gonna list now can be used instead. The Dual Knight of Cobalt is very good to lower your stamina usage, which is amazing during blocking. It's from my old setup. It's from Act 3 and it's quite defensive just because of the extra stamina reduction. Crystal Walker helmet can be used by both physical and hybrids as well. It will turn endurance into extra damage and we put quite a few points in endurance anyway. It's from Act 3 inside a cave. Be careful in veteran because those nasty crawlers really do it hard now for some reason, and there are quite a few of them, so you need to kill them very fast. Lancelot is of course also an option if you're going physical, especially good during leveling However, due to the requirement, most likely you will be able to use this one at level 37, 38. It's from the end of Act 1. Undertone Bloom Helmet is also an option, but it's spirituality based, so mainly as an hybrid. Chest. For hybrids, the best chest in the game comes free. The robes of the last chest will give you an insane amount of damage. And the reduced healing doesn't matter because our main healing comes from Life Leech. You get this chest in Act 2 after you do the Dagonet Crypt minigame. I don't want to go in spoilers, so... Undertow Bloom Vest is also an option, especially if you're pairing with the pants of the same set to build up armor. However, both these items becomes good when you have eye perception. Lancelot, as usual, is an option if you invest in dexterity. In alternative, there is the crafted Ravenous, which has a little less armor but no dexterity requirement. You get this one in Act 2. For gloves. For hybrids, there is only one choice, which is X-Grip Vambrace. This will enable the build, and you get this one after you finish Act 2, when Mr. Baldy will send you there. In the same location he send you for X-Grip, there are a lot of powerful items in that tower. Collect them all. There are also, of course, Blackwater Gauntlets from Sarras. They are good depending on your maximum health pool, so if you invested a lot in HP or Endurance, that's even better. Dual Knight Gloves from Abigor are good as well in Act 1. In alternative, if you want to add extra stamina drain from parry, the Dual Knight Gloves from Beherit are also a good option. Pants. Crystal Walker from Act 3 are incredibly powerful. The downside is that they will cost you mobility. When you're weaker, this can get you killed in certain fights. Spellwarden Pants, crafted from Act 2, same location when you go for the X-Grip on a chair. This one, of course, if you're hybrid. There is also, of course, a Redeemer, which pairs extremely well if you're stacking HP. This one will add an extra source of stamina drain. Undertone Bloom Pants are also there. They are not crafted, luckily. You can just go and pick them up in Sarras. The downside is that they have low armor, so if you compare this one with the Crystal Walker, when you're low level, Crystal Walker will give you 10 plus more armor than this one. So when you're low level, they're not really that worth it. Volker's Warborn is also an option if your crit is decent there from Act 3, and you also get the Fire Amulet in the same location. For boots, there is only one choice here. I will not even give you option for endgame. That one is Crystal Walker boots. We need the 33% critical chance, no matter the setup, because otherwise our self-healing goes in the toilet, and then you will have to eat Happy Meals like a fat kid that got left alone on Christmas Eve. Before you can always so use Knight, Dual Knight, Lancelot, Ravenous. What matters is that you don't go in heavy weight. Because if you tell me, Past, I keep dying, you will know the reason why. For back item, also not really a lot of choice here, really. Make yourself a winged back cavalier, we need the crit. It's from Act 3, crafted, location is here, you need to do 2 quests from Atli. Be careful because those mobs are quite nasty and they got buffed. When you're low level, they can shred you. Some animation when they have the mace are also kinda hard to see as well. Before, just use the Abigor Cape or, well, the Flaming Cloak. I wish I used that one. I feel that status effects are now hard carry for most builds. Amulet. For Amulet, just use Pendant of Understudy if you're hybrid. It's on the shelf where the Mad Rabbit is. You need to sneak in from the kitchen. There is a hidden hole that you can enter. For physical, either Combs Finger for critical chance, All Steel Fang from Act 1 if you want some extra armor multiplier when you get it. The issue is that it only lasts 2 seconds. I wish it was 5, but I guess would have been too powerful. Or you can use a status effect amulet, either the Fire Amulet from Act 3 or the Ice one from Sarras. Both are good on any builds, really. Rings. Stamina rings when you level up. If you have no stamina, you will die. Then you use a blood ring until you can afford a 1 bleed from Uguay in Act 1, which is called the Crimson Shard. Then you will put that one in your main weapon. In Act 2, you will do the quest for Langford. I show the right dialogue combination because this quest is still bugged and there are still issues with this quest, so don't worry. This ring will reduce stamina cost universally, and you will need it, especially when everything is a struggle. For relics, you need the Bond relic from Act 3. Just be careful because you can only get 1 stone carving from the woman that you're gonna talk. So I will show again this part later in the video in a separate timestamp. What you want to do is pretty much get this one to reduce the block cost. If you're a hybrid, still get the Bond, but then use any relics that you want to go get your hands on, because then you can convert those into extra mana and spell power thanks to the Sarras perk. There is also the Shipworm Relic, which is a weapon relic that you can use on your weapon, and I did. When you do the quest for the hidden woman from the fish village, hidden in the hideaway in Sarras, you need to go back, keep her secret, and when you're done with the quest, you go back, she will give you the relic. Now, let's look at the attributes section. Okay, let's look at our stats. These are my final attributes on hybrid setup. The main difference between an hybrid and a physical setup is quite simple. These 12 points in spirituality, well, as a physical, you don't put them there. You can put them in dexterity. My advice is up to 9 if you're planning to use duelist blade. Otherwise, playing purely physical, you can also afford to get them in practicality. Putting points in practicality will help, of course, with gold, but also will reduce the cost of all our action, including blocking, much further. Okay, fine, Pasta, how the hell do you allocate points? Quite simple. We're gonna start out with 2 points in strength and 2 points in dexterity. This is, as usual, to use the Spear of Ancient Hero. Spear of Ancient Hero is one of the best starting weapons you can find. It doesn't hold up, in my opinion, in Act 2, because some of the most annoying mobs at the moment in the tool house, the Red Dead Infected, are immune to bleed, so keep that in mind. But however, it's an excellent damage over time weapon. Afterwards, we're gonna pump 7 points in endurance, 6 points in strength, then 7 points in strength. This way you can use both the shields, you can use Dual Knight Shield from Abigor, you can use the Blood Shield as well, you can use a number of weapons. Then we're gonna go 10 and 10. 4 points in perception. If you're playing hybrid, don't put points in spirituality until you finish Act 2. So the best thing you can do is save a potion of origin and then fix your attributes if you're going hybrid. If you're not going hybrid, then very simple. You go 15, then 15, and then 8 if you want to use Lancelot. Otherwise, if you want to use Duelist Blade first, then you simply go 9 points in dexterity earlier. Rest of the points will go in perception. Okay, let's look at the skill tree very quickly. We start out in practicality, 3 points in exploitation affliction. This one will be procced by either Spear of Ancient Hero, the Blood Ring, or any other status effect you can apply quickly. Then we go in dexterity, 3 points in parrying, so that our parry window is bigger. Then we go in strength, 3 points in agile fighter. In practicality, born in armor, inner strength. In endurance, 1 point in counterweight, 1 point is disrupting shove, shield breaker, prepared block, deflecting block, 3 points in unending assault, 1 point in powerful blows, 3 points in unstoppable momentum, 3 points in invigorating dance. In perception, 1 point in extra lucky, 1 point in critical cascade. In dexterity, 1 point in draining riposte, 1 point in deadly riposte, 1 point in frequent exercise, 2 points in determination, 1 point in godly physique, 2 points in executioner, 1 point in weapon of the great theft, max disrupting shove. As soon as you lock Red Death, you're gonna put 3 points in Plague Warden, regardless of the level, regardless of what you have. It's the difference between getting one-shotted or not in most fights. Then we go in Perception, 1 point in Respite Cruelty, 2 points in Aegis, another great damage mitigation, Bloodthirst, then another points in Powerful Blows. Actually, never mind, take 1 out from Invigorating Dance and max Powerful Blows for Stamina Drain. Now, of course, as you can see, I didn't max Born in Armor, but then again, I'm only level 44. I'm not very high. There is still a lot of points that you can take. Max Born in Armor, Armor Skin, the Best Offense, Perception, we barely maxed Extra Lucky, we don't have Go for the Eyes. Respite Cruelty maxed is also amazing. Deep Wounds will allow you to remove bleed application if you're using a relic to save a spot if you're higher level. Swift and Fierce is also good for movement. There is a lot of stuff if you're higher level that you can take. That is mainly up to for preference. If you want to invest more in Draining Riposte, of course you can. You will have to sacrifice some stuff or get higher level. If you are hybrid, this is quite simple. Get Arcane Teaching for extra spell power. If you need extra mana, get Mana Battery, and then Invigorating Energy for more HP. Also get Arcane Conduit. If you're hybrid, you of course go Mystic, Mana Spring, Recovery Focus, Arcane Smite, Relic Hunter, Battle Mage. Simple, simple, simple. If you're going Rogue, Rogue will give you more frailty and more critical chance. Frailty Broker, Dependable Luck, Frailty Expert, Raising Exhaustion, Coupe de Grace. If you go Warrior, you go Strength in Numbers, Menace of the Weary, Deadly Rejuvenation, Desire for Speed, and then Useful Overload. Okay, suggested life path for this build is joining the army and then infantry for some extra block. Get the HP statuette. Break into the Red Priest storeroom and get blood transfusion. We're gonna need it later in the tutorial.
The enemy is near.
Get the origin potion. Get the HP ring. Kill the monk for his helmet and the stamina ring. Kill the wailing effigy for the chest. Now drag Baldy to the end of the hallway, making sure that he doesn't go too far, otherwise he will start to use bow or magic. And then you can just loot him and then magically you are level 5, congrats.
Good strike, but I won't fall so easily. A good strike, but I won't fall so easily.
You can get a ring of protection before you leave the tutorial. On the shore, get the tag from the Fallen Warden and then get the recipe. Buy 3 deer's antler from the merchant.
It's not.
Then get Spear of Ancient Hero. Get another stamina ring. Turn the deer's antler for extra movement speed. In the Blood Lake you can get a shield and a parrying sword. The fight is really not that hard. Even out of the tutorial you don't need a shield to parry, by the way. I didn't finish the entire mini dungeon here because the last boss is way more harder than Marroy, so you will have to come back here. Dungeon will drop a relic that will give you some health when you kill an enemy. That is kinda good. There is armor that you can get that is compatible with our stats. It will give you a little bit of stamina. Plus, I think it kind of looks cool. There is an amulet that reduces block cost. You can use it for most of the game, really. It's kind of decent. Just be careful, because the creature here can be nasty. And while you see me poking to death this Bukane, do all the Druid Shrine in every single act. In the description there is gonna be a link with all the location of all the bonus attributes points and all that stuff that you can find and gather in all the shrines. Do everything, it will help you progress a lot. When you are in a crypt, get the perception book. Buy a free attribute point from Ogwe and then the Crimson Shard Relic, and slot that in immediately in your spear, or whatever weapon you're using is still good. This is where you find the blood shield. It's good to kill Abigor, so my advice is to take it unless you saw another shield that you like more. Choice is up to you. For doing all the druid shrines of the horns is gonna be plus 10 health, which is good. Once you finish Act 2, you have two choices. The safe choice is the south entrance. The dangerous choice is the north entrance. I went north, but I ran away like a scared child because the highs are kind of dangerous. The northern entrance will get you closer to getting your Bramble Shield. This is the parkour that you need to do in Act 2 to get the Bramble Shield. Also, another note of advice, you see me right now, I don't wear full armor. The reason why I don't wear full armor is not to show the bald pink head of Mr. Muffin, my character. It's because I don't want to go in heavy weight, I'm always in medium, so I can dodge and recover stamina faster. Get the Duelist Blade, even if you don't want to use it, you can always sell it. This is one of the copies that you can find. There is another one that drops from a bounty in the tool house. In the tool house, talk to the totem, sacrifice some health for 2 points. It's worth it. In the town there are two attributes point that you can buy. One from Bonksy, the other one from Filth. Buy them both. There is also an HP relic that you can buy from Bonksy as well, that is good. Filth will also sell a death mark. Those one can be used to chase certain enemies if you hit them from stealth. So that one is kinda good as well. The Red Death questline starts here. Just make sure that you're prepared. I will show the boss later in section. Doing all the druid shrines in Act 2 will give you plus 10 stamina, which is kind of important. When you go in Act 3, focus mainly on the druid shrines. That is 10% crit that you want, but you need to finish all of them.
A fate. The thing. Be careful. The dead. Who do you? Then. Take.
Welcome to sit. But but never mind. Go on.
Perhaps you're right. The Langford. Listen, in the library, behind the portrait inside is the true family ledger.
This. In you. 27 souls. Every single one. Very well. Thank you, stranger. I need to find my servant. To Apollo. Here, take this.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and maybe even subscribing for more gaming content. Fall of Avalon or something else, I have no idea yet. If you have any questions or doubts, let me know in the comments below. Have fun playing Fall of Avalon, and I will see you in the next video.